The Great Salt Lake is an integral part of Utah's ecosystem.
Here we see a bunch of unique species like the brine shrimp that occur here, some of the birds that occur here, brine flies, different species of algae.
My name is Brian Steed. I'm the Executive Director of the Utah State Department of Natural Resources.
I'm Chris Luecke. I'm the Dean of the Quinney College of Natural Resources at Utah State and the co-chair with Brian Steed of the Institute for Land, Water, and Air.
There was a time when people thought that every drop of water that reaches the Great Salt Lake is lost water, because you take fresh water and it converts into the saline ecosystem, and everyone says, well, we can't use it anymore, so it's no good. I think that as science has improved on the information that is provided us, we now know a variety of things we didn't know before.
So one of the greatest ecosystem services that the Great Salt Lake provides is it's responsible for what we think of as the driest snow on Earth, as well as the best snow on Earth. The Great Salt Lake is saline enough that it doesn't really freeze, and so evaporation from the surface of the lake happens all winter long, and that puts more water into the air. The prevailing winds then blow that over the mountains, and then as the air increases in elevation, it falls as snow.
And so when the lake is full and happy, we get more lake effect snow, and that's a positive thing as a skier, but more importantly as someone that is in charge of Utah's water resources. As we have found over the last few years, the water levels have been dropping here at the Great Salt Lake. We're very concerned about that for a variety of reasons. One, we rely on the lake for lake effect snow. Two, with a dropping lake level, we're all very concerned about dust. When you have dust that comes across the bed of the lake, you can see that there are large air quality issues that may ensue as a result of a lower lake, and we're trying very hard to avoid those.
Utah State University is the land grant institution in the state, and because of that we work closely with a lot of state agencies to solve different problems. Research by Craig Miller with the Division of Water Resources and David Tarbotton at the Water Lab at Utah State, they had developed a model of the Great Salt Lake and were able to play out some different scenarios. And it turns out that increased water use by irrigation, either in cities and suburban areas or in agriculture, was causing a bigger decline in the lake levels than did just the drought. The Utah legislature and then the governor signed a bill that allowed us to do some water banking to provide some incentives for greater conservation of water, and that's having a big effect on water delivery to some of these places like the Great Salt Lake or the Colorado River.
Research is the foundation of good policy. Good science makes for good policy, and without that good science, it's really hard to know exactly how to proceed on a variety of these very complicated issues.